Welcome to Goonies World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin, and I am joined by Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hello, everybody out there in the podcast listening world.
And our GM for this session, Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello.
Yeah.
And we are playing one of Ryan's own designs, a new game called Runners.
Yeah, so just a little bit of backstory. So I grew up playing a ton of games, of course, but one of them was Shadowrun, and I always really liked the setting, and I always, when I was a teenager, thought that the rules were awesome because they were so complicated, but I kind of thought that wouldn't really work in this format, to have, that rules heavy, that much crunch. So I thought, well, what the hell, I'll just, make my own, which we have not play tested at all, by the way. So it may or may not even work well, but it'll work well enough for this series anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I share, when I was in, I think, late high school and Shadowrun first came out, and it seemed super cool to all of us. And I remember this dude named Van Fredrickson got the book, and we went over to his basement and tried to play it. I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't know how to play D&D either. I was always that player who just rolled whatever, the game master said to roll. But later as an adult, I was going to play Shadowrun again, and I got the latest book, and I started reading through it, and I realized that I did not have the willpower or the mindset to sit down and figure it all out. So it's nothing against the game designers. Obviously, they've got what works for them. And I just didn't love the system because I thought it would be too hard for me to learn. I didn't want to put in the effort and the time, So we ended up doing a Shadowrun campaign using Savage Worlds rules at the time. And
Which I have played.
Yeah, that was a pretty good time. But I always loved the setting. And I really like simple, one-page games now, and that's what Ryan has created with Runners. So
My only other experience with Shadowrun is the video game Shadowrun Returns, which does all the crunch for you.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's pretty nice.
Well, and the system's not even exactly the same, I don't think. Or it might have been, because that was out 10 years ago or something like that. So it may have been using 5th edition or something.
Yeah, there's been multiple editions, of Shadowrun. So
yeah, I picked up 6th with the thinking, oh, maybe I can use this for the podcast. But yeah, I started reading it. I was like, oh no, this is still Shadowrun.
Well,
I don't think it's going to work here.
Yeah, and as our regular listeners will know, we are generally fans of lighter fare. I mean, we play GURPS a few times, which is arguably mid to high level crunchy, but I know GURPS pretty well usually when I don't screw it all up. But even the simple games we play, we often forget a rule or screw up. We're really more about the role playing, and we have to have some kind of framework, But yeah, we're rules light guys here at Goonies World for the most part. Before we get too much further, that cool music you hear is from Disquantic. So thank you, Disquantic, for our Runners theme. And later we'll hear some music from Shady Dave and Bulkmar. So if you want to hear more of their stuff, go over to freesounds.org and search for their names. They got a lot of cool stuff, all Creative Commons licensed. So thanks, guys.
Nice. So just to clarify quickly, the entire, the setting is basically sort of Shadowrun, right? It's cyberpunk with elves and dwarves and magic and shit, right? But the entire backstory is completely different. In Shadowrun, it's it was all centered around the Mayan calendar 2012 thing, and all when the awakening happened, like there was like all this chaos and governments split, and Denver was like it's a city state, and the United States didn't basically exist anymore, and all this, and none of that. I mean, there was certainly a period of turmoil once over 100 years ago when all this stuff went down, but that was so long ago, and I mean the United States basically survived intact. So it's not. This does take place in Denver, but you're not. It's a part of the country. Still, it's not just its own
right
thing. And Western Europe is essentially familiar to modern day. The difference mainly being that sort of Russia and China have kind of expanded their sphere of influence into Southeast Asia and stuff, and sort of into Eastern Europe back, almost like a sort of Soviet sort of deal.
Good.
But that none of that is really relevant to you guys, because you are in the city of Denver, and we have two different characters here. Why don't you introduce us to your character, Sean?
Well, my name is Zach Sharp. My street name is Howitzer. I'm from Leeds in England, but I came over here because the pickings are likely to be richer. My metatype is human. I'm proud of it. Not an asshole about it, but I'm proud of who I am. And my role in the party is I'm the tank. That's my class or my role. And I'm strong, not the brightest. I'm fast, I've got a lot of stamina. And I carry a great big gun, that's why they call me Howitzer. And I've got some heavy armor. It's all plated into this leather jacket, which has got the Motorhead logo on the back with Snaggletooth or whatever that war pig thing is, that's on the Motorhead logo. That's on my jacket. And I've got the ceramic plating or Kevlar, whatever it is, all woven into it. I got a shaved head, ginger naturally, so sometimes you can see a little red stubble, and broken nose, a few scars from fights. But I used to be a footballer, and so here I am though in Denver, and I've made a few contacts in the underworld, but I'd say I'm at the beginning of my career as a runner, and that's me, Zach Sharp, Howitzer.
Very nice. And Colin, what about you?
All right, so my name is Alwyk Cylyndryel, but you can call me Al. And I am an elf. I'm an elf mage, self-taught. I learned 3 spells, which you'll get to see later, hopefully. And I'm born and raised in Denver, as you can tell from my accent. So that's pretty much me. I look like an elf, but I like to wear fancy clothing. Got a button-up shirt. I like to wear purple and gold, flowy stuff. I'm well kept. I got gold chains on. I'm real put together. I guess that's me. Yeah.
All right, very nice. You both obviously live in Denver, and this is taking place obviously in the fairly distant future, but at approximately the same time of year that this is going to be released. So, kind of late February, late-ish winter, and it is snowing, as it is wont to do at the high altitudes of Denver. And I don't know, I assume you guys are kind of, I don't know if I assume you don't live together. I assume you do know each other, or know of each other anyway.
I know him. He's all right. He's all right for an elf. He's all right.
I'd say a lot of people know me. I get around town. You know, I got connections. Sometimes I do run my mouth a little bit. But, I think everybody loves me, generally.
I don't love you, but I like you, all right. I like you a lot, all right.
Well, you're gonna learn to love me.
Well,
If we go into business together, you know, something, I think you'll fall for me. You'll fall for my charm.
Well, I know in this topsy-turvy business of running, it's often helpful to have a mage, you know, in your corner. And for a mage, I imagine, it might be helpful to have a bruiser in your corner.
Yeah, that's right. Growing up on the mean streets of Denver, I was always getting picked on and all that because I'm an elf. No fault of mine, but I'm an elf and I got brittle bones. And so I got one. My strength is 1. So, you know, I had to learn how to defend myself. So I learned magic. I taught myself. I don't know if I said that earlier, but I taught myself all the spells I know. 3. And so, but sometimes you do need that muscle. You know, I think we're gonna make. We haven't even been introduced yet, but yeah, I think we're gonna make great partners.
I think we can assume we've already gotten to know each other. I don't know why I just had this vision of us like at a coffee counter or something, having this conversation. I'm a teetotaler myself. I don't drink, but I chain smoke. But I don't drink, so I figure it all balances out.
Well, you guys, you guys live in kind of this neighborhood called Lincoln Park, not to be confused with the neighborhood of the same name in Chicago. Yeah, so I think this makes perfect sense. You're just kind of chatting away at a little coffee bar. It's a Thursday night. You know, it's the days are starting to get longer, but it's about 7 p.m., so it's already dark. And like I said, it's snowing, and you can hear, you know, some sirens kind of wailing off in the distance as somebody does, you know, apparently has committed some kind of crime and summoned some kind of police response. And you're just sitting there drinking your coffee when Al, you get an incoming call on your communications device.
This is Al. Go ahead.
Hey Al, it's Mr. Black, and you know of Mr. Black. He's kind of a fixer guy, and he tells you, I've got a little bit of a run you might be interested in here.
Hey, you know, I could do with some exercise. I'm good for running, Mr. B. Won't you tell me all about it?
Well, I've got a client who's looking for a particular scientist, you might say. There's an elf. His name's Mr. Patel. He works for a company called Spirit Tech. They were in, you know, the transhuman building downtown. That's where he works.
Yeah, I know the place.
Yeah. Spirit Tech has, I believe, floors 7 and 8 over there. But anyway, that's where he works. His house is over on, let's see.
Garden Way.
My notes here. Oh, yeah. He lives on Cherokee Street.
Bronco Boulevard.
South of downtown a ways. And you get an address flash up on Cherokee Street.
All right.
So that's where he lives. He might be there. You know, obviously he's going to be in the office several days a week. Other than that, there's this place over on Champa called Bar. Great creative name for a bar, I know, but it's a very old place. It got, you know, live music and
Bar Binks.
No, it's Barbar the Elephant from the beloved children's classic.
Oh yeah, I
Like
remember that.
might put an extra R in there, but ever since I got stateside, I've been trying to accentuate my R's so I could fit in.
Anyway, he spends some time occasionally getting drinks at the bar there, and and also he visits the College of Engineering, just a little bit west of downtown there. I think he's doing some kind of TA work for an old professor of his or something, even though he's already long graduated. But anyway, here's the deal. You get Mr. Patel alive, and take him to this address, and like another address pops up, and this is another address in Lincoln Park. That is actually a warehouse fairly close to where you guys live, and you take him here and drop him off alive. He has to be alive.
Oh, okay.
And
Sure.
If you gotta ice a few guys, witnesses or whatever, there can't be any witnesses. So if you gotta take some guys out, well, you gotta take some guys out. But hopefully it won't come to that. And here's the deal. There's no deadline for this job, right? But if you get it done within the next 24 hours, it's 10,000 each. And the price goes down 2,000 every 12 hours after that.
Okay.
Here's the rub. 24 hours then.
Yeah. Well, let me check my schedule. Okay, I got time for this dough. I think, now, you were giving me this job. I got a guy I want to work with. Is it okay if I bring my friend in with me on this job?
Well, yes. I was expecting that, you probably wouldn't want to do it alone. But yeah, we don't need a whole bunch of, I don't need like a whole team of runners here, because that might cause some attention. But I think, just a couple small team, that would be more the right speed.
We'll just be a duo, because I got the magic, he's got the muscle. And that sounds like a song. I got the magic, he's got the muscle.
That sounds like a bitchin' song, all right.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. We'll be low key, and we'll get the job done. I mean, how hard can it be just to grab some nerdy scientist guy, take him to this address here? I don't see no problems.
No, it sounds like a piece of cake. It's a midnight run. It'll be easy. What could possibly go wrong?
I forgot to say this, but this also happened while he was explaining who this guy was and stuff. He actually got a picture that he sent to you of this guy's. It's like a headshot, and it's like kind of an elf with kind of dark brownish skin, dark black hair, pointy elfy ears. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you think? I mean, at least now you think you would recognize him if you saw him on the street or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we elf types are very smart. I know a lot of people don't think I'm smart. They don't think I sound smart. But I mean, I just it's not easy to learn magic. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm self-taught. I taught myself magic.
Yeah, you told me that about 8,000 times. I guess you might as well tell Mr. B as well.
So, I mean, you gotta be smart to do that. You gotta manipulate the ether. That's hard to do.
All right, well, sounds like you're taking the job, so just remember, the target needs to be delivered alive, and there can't be any witnesses. All right?
Okay. And we got some places to start looking for him at. And we know what he looks like. We know his name. We don't know what he what what your client wants with the guy, but we don't.
I don't know what my client wants with the guy. I don't ask too many questions.
It's not our business.
Yeah, we don't get to know that, and that's fine. You know, doesn't matter to me though. I mean, you want him, you got him. We'll get him.
All right, see that you do, and remember, 10,000 if it's within 24 hours from now.
Yeah.
So, 10,000 each or 10,000 total?
Oh, 10,000 each.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna pretend that since I've been listening and commenting that you're not on speakerphone, but I have this image of me comically inclining my head up next to your phone, kind of listening in and hearing the tinny little voice. Yeah, tell Mr. B not to worry. We'll get it done. We'll get it done by 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get it done in time. All right.
All right. Well, give me a call when you're done.
Sure thing.
All right. Well, and with that, you're free to basically do whatever you want. I obviously gave you some different places to possibly check out.
Right. Now, look, it's Thursday, right? So, and it's 7 p.m. So unless the guy's the type who works late at the office, Transhuman Building's probably not the first place to look. I say the best bet's or his residence on Cherokee Street, or the bar, or possibly the College of Engineering. You know, if he's doing TA work, he could be working there in the evenings, night classes, grading papers and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, I pictured the guy, he gets off work at Spirit Tech, maybe he stops in at the bar for a little drink, or maybe he goes home first, but, you know, if I was him, that's where I'd go, is the bar.
Maybe we start there. If he's not there, we go pay a little visit to his house. We don't know if he lives alone or not, but if someone's there, maybe they can tell us where he is. Although we don't want any witnesses either. So, I say we start at the bar, go to the house. If he ain't there, check out the College of Engineering. And if he's not there, well, maybe then we go to the Transhuman Building. But you know, there's a big office building, high security, getting up to the 7th and 8th floors ain't gonna be no cakewalk.
Well, that's true, but I think I might have a spell that can take care of that. You know, I haven't tested it yet, but I got this invisibility spell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've just been waiting to use that one. I think it's going to come real handy.
I could think of 1,000,000 times in my life that will come in handy. Can you just cast it on yourself, or can you cast it on someone else, or in a 10-foot radius, or whatever?
Well, that's a question for the GM.
I guess we find out in the moment.
Yeah, no, I think you could totally cast it on yourself and or other people.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll work on pretty much anything I want it to.
Okay.
And granted, if they don't want, I mean, if they actively are allowing you to do it, then it just happens. But if they don't want to be invisible or something, then they could probably try to resist it.
Right. Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna check out this bar place, I think.
Yeah.
Seeing if he's stopped in there after work, getting a beer to relax, or something like that. Say, I guess he's a regular there, so that seems like a good bet.
All right. I would. Now, I don't know if either of you guys have your own vehicles. Obviously, there's a. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying. I was just thinking if I did have a vehicle, that it would be a very, very old one, and it's a refurbished old American muscle car. It's a 2070 Mercury Cougar hardtop. It's all black, of course. And that's what I'd be driving. Whether I got it tonight, I don't know. But if I got a choice, that's what I got.
And gasoline was really hard to come by.
That's right. So I don't drive it all the time, right? So if we can take public transit there, so much the better.
There's a very extensive rail network, which is, I assume, the way most people probably get around town. Oh, of course, and there are also, and granted, it's snowing right now, so that would probably be safer as well. But there are also, you can hail automated cabs and ground cars and stuff with your device. And
I'm a Johnny Cab. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's say we just hit the trains then. Head over to Bar, see what we see. Hey, what's the open carry rules like here? I mean, I know this is the United States, so we love our guns. But do I need to conceal this machine gun I have? I notice it's not a submachine gun. So I'm thinking it's got to be like at least the size of like a M16 or, an AK-47 or something. So if that's the case, I might want to have like a longer coat.
Yeah, well, it is winter, so I mean, it's winter and it's snowing, so I'm sure you can have a big long trench coat.
Yeah, I'll have a black trench. Unfortunately, my motorhead snaggletooth's not going to show, but and I guess I better put my little black beanie on over my bald head, so don't get chilly, don't catch a chill, a sniffle.
Well, you step outside of the little coffee shop here and into the dark, snowy night, and of course the sirens that you had heard earlier have faded into the distance and been replaced by just that when you step outside and it is snowing or has been snowing and it's just sounds more quiet than it should.
Right. There's something about that, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's the kind of vibe you have here, and there really aren't there's not a lot of traffic, there's not a lot of people walking around. This isn't, it's, most people are assuming you're probably just inside trying to stay warm, but you walk the few blocks to the train station and hop the train to downtown, and it just takes a few minutes to get there. And you hop off, and you are just a few blocks from Champa, which is where Bar is supposed to be, so you start walking in that direction. And as soon as you get within, half a block or a block of this place, and of course you see the sign advertising it, but before you even see the sign that's lit up, and of course the neon signs in the windows advertising various types of beer and alcohol and stuff, you hear an extremely loud 80s hardcore punk type, like 1980s hardcore punk, like Minor Threat type band, like emanating from this place.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what kind of music that is.
That's old school.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like old school as well. I just kept trying to tell you to listen to Motorhead, but you don't want to listen.
That's garbage. I don't want to listen to none of that stuff.
No, Motorhead's very sophisticated. They are. The subtleties of Motorhead go past, the typical listener.
Being an elf, a proud elf, I like my flute music. And so I might compromise with Jethro Tull, but that's about it.
Jethro Tull does have some respect in the old school metal community. I've never been sure exactly why, but they did win that inexplicable Grammy. If you know your music history, best metal album.
Yeah, didn't they beat Metallica?
Beat
out
Metallica.
Or something? Yeah.
Establishment at that time was just not going to give Metallica a fucking Grammy. That's what that boiled down to. Yeah.
Good times. So, anyway, I'm guessing you... Al may be putting, wadding up some tissue and sticking it in his ears or something. I'm not sure.
I got sensitive ears.
You just take the points and fold them down into your ear canals so you can't hear.
Tuck them in. Do an ear tuck.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. It's kind of awkward and they pop out, though. I have to keep doing it.
Well, you guys walk into this bar, which is basically looks like it probably hasn't changed since, in the last 100 years almost. I mean, and if the selection of music is any indication, and there's virtually nobody in here. You look in the back and there's some pool tables set up, and there's a couple. There's an orc and an elf engaging in a game of billiards back there, and over on against one wall you see obviously there's a stage and there's this band playing, and it's it's got a couple humans and a couple elves. The singer appears to be an elf, and he's screaming and jumping up and down and humping the monitors.
It's a disgrace. These elves acting like that.
Punk elves.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I wonder what their mothers would think of them acting that way.
They probably
I bet their mothers.
No, their mothers told them they need to get a career to fall back on in case music doesn't pan out. Like me, I'm a pipe fitter. If the killing and running business doesn't work out for me, I've got a good backup skills as a pipe fitter. And I hope your mother also has given you that good advice.
Don't you talk about my mother, okay? Now I know you were saying you didn't mean no disrespect, but of course my mother loves me more than anything in the world. She knows I know what's best. All right, so I got all kinds of ways of making money.
I've got to spend between now and the next episode. I've got to research Yo Mama jokes that are specific to elves. Your mama's ears are so pointy. I don't know. Well, we said there's just a few people in here. I'll do a quick scan. I've seen Mr. Patel's picture. Do I see him at the bar or any of the tables?
No, and in fact, there's the orc and the elf that are playing pool. There's the band, and there's a couple humans sitting at the bar, and there's a troll tending the bar and kind of wiping it down. But none of these people appear to be the man you're looking for.
I'm gonna walk back and take a leak. And see
I was just gonna, we think alike. I was just gonna say I'm gonna go back and visit the John, see if the guys just taking a potty break.
Yeah. Well, I really do got to take a leak though. So we could be like urinal buddies. Just eyes up, my friend. Eyes up.
Well, you guys walk together towards the men's room, and the troll behind the bar kind of just he's wiping down the bar, and he just kind of looks up and watches you guys walk side by side towards the bathroom. He's kind of
he's assuming. Don't assume. We just both have to go to the bathroom at the same time.
Yeah. We've got an eyes up rule, all right? And we're going to order a drink, all right? We're just going to take a leak first.
He shrugs and goes back to just wiping the bar.
Well, I'll do that thing on the way, when you go see a live band and you don't really like get into the whole show, but for a minute you'll go stand up kind of near the stage and bob your head for a minute and show your appreciation. I'll do that right by the bass amp, and then I'll go into the men's room and look under the stalls, see if there's any elf-like feet, in the shitters, and scan the place for. This is in the future, so can I assume this is a gender-neutral bathroom?
Yeah, well, we actually, currently, we are segregating bathrooms by metatype and not gender.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, yeah.
I hadn't really given that any thought. Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, all right, well, I'll hopefully not freak anybody out then by looking under the stalls. We'll do it in a super obvious way. And
well, there's nobody else.
Okay, nobody in the bathroom. All right, well.
And I assume there are no urinals because we wouldn't have urinals in the
No, you'd have the
bathroom.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could ask around about him, but it might not do to have folks knowing that people's looking for him, especially if he disappears afterwards.
Yeah, and I don't think they could really tell us anything, say, oh, yeah, maybe he was in here earlier, but he left. But, that, I mean,
Well,
I guess we could figure out if he said where he went, but then now we got people knowing we're asking for him.
Yeah, but we can also miss a vital clue, right? But
Yeah.
you're the smart one. I'll leave it up to you.
I mean, maybe if we come up with a good cover story why we're asking for him, colleagues or something.
Yeah,
Family.
Well,
I mean, I'm an elf.
You're
could
his
be
family. Yeah, you're his family.
His brother.
Well, you can't be his brother because you're like he's like an elf of East Indian extraction. It looks like to me, and so but you could be his brother from another mother.
Yeah, he don't look like no Dimbrite to me.
Or I could say I'm his research assistant.
Yeah, he certainly did appear to be sort of, Indian subcontinent type ethnicity.
Yeah. And I'm pure as the driven snow of Denver. I'm pasty, is what I mean. And so, yeah, I guess I could be like, yeah, we work at the College of Engineering.
Yeah.
And, we's looking around for him, because, we ain't seen him.
Yeah, say we was supposed to meet him here. We was worried we was late. We didn't know if we was late or early. And did he say where he went? But you do the talking.
I'll do the talking.
Maybe go talk to that big troll, if he's a regular here, the bartender will know him.
Yeah, the troll should know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go up and order a drink, maybe to help maybe make the bartender a little more forthcoming.
Yeah, I'll go order a
patron.
I'll order a beer, but I don't drink it.
All right. Well,
I gonna need something fancy for an elf. Wine. So if you got any nice vintages of wine?
red or white? Asks the troll.
I'll go with white.
He pops open the fridge back behind him and pulls out a corked bottle of white wine and pulls the cork out and sets a wine glass in front of you and pours you a nice glass of wine. It looks, this is like some, cheap ass, Zinfandel
Box
or something.
wine.
Lovely.
Well, at least it's in a bottle and not a box. Yeah.
Right. It's got a lovely bouquet. Lovely bouquet on that wine.
Pulls you a pint and sets that in front of you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, thank you. Yeah.
I'll make
So,
sure and tip generously, by the way.
Yeah, just slide some money over, show him the tip. And, so, we were supposed to meet someone here. And we don't see him nowhere. So, I don't know if you know this, our friend, colleague, Mr. Patel. He comes in here, supposedly, he asked us to meet him here.
You mean Arjun?
Well, if he's a brown elf, then yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, I just call him Mr. Patel out of respect.
Well, he's in here a lot. I haven't seen him today. It's been a few days,
Okay.
really.
Been a few days. All right. So it's
You're
not like
supposed
he's
to meet
come
him here.
Well, we thought
Sorry.
we could be mistaken about where we were supposed to meet. We're not sure we had the night right.
Well, I'm pretty sure he said to meet him here at, this night. But,
So you say he
Yeah, I
comes?
guess
he hasn't been here in a
hasn't
few
been in here.
days. Is that unusual? Does he usually come in for a nightly nip, or does he just come in every now and then, like?
He kind of eyes you suspiciously. More of a Friday night type.
Oh, right. I think it was just a day off there, friend.
okay. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think we just misheard him. Yeah. And because we're just colleagues trying to meet up with our friend, and I don't see him, and I think it's our fault.
It's our fault. It's totally our fault. All right. Well, hey, listen. I don't indulge in the alcohol myself, but I wanted to rent my spot here. Could you have this sent up to the bass player? He's all right. There's beer.
And
Because he's a
He
bass player,
grabs
so I
the-
know he's not getting laid tonight.
he grabs the pint and walks it over and hands it, to the bass player, who holds it up and screams, "Thanks, man!" into the microphone.
Give him a little salute.
And then the band is in between songs at that point, and then they immediately bust into an impromptu jam of "Thank you for the beer, motherfucker."
Great.
Don't encourage them. Right, as soon as we can get out of this place, the better.
Yeah, we're drawing too much attention to ourselves already. I could tell from the way he's looking at me. I should have kept my mouth shut. I got to remember, I'm not a pretty man. I look like trouble. That's what me mama always told me. You look like trouble, you need to go pipe fitting school. So you at least got a union card to show. But maybe we should check out the residence, eh?
Yeah. If he's more of a Friday night bar type, maybe he is more of a homebody on the weekdays.
Yeah.
So I bet you we'll find him at home.
You should take a cab, though. I don't know. It's a residential neighborhood. I don't want to be slogging down suburban streets and whatnot. So, getting off the train, having to walk like 4 or 5 blocks, I'm not doing that.
That's good thinking.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
we'll have a car let us off right in front of his house. No suspicion there.
Yeah. Well, I'll use my communication device and dial us up an Uber or Johnny Cab or whatever it is.
Sure. It looks like it's going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, well.
We'll listen to the rest of the set.
Guess,
Bob your head politely.
Bob the head politely. Before we go, I'll take off. I'll pull down the overcoat enough so they can see the Motorhead logo and give them some devil horns. And
which prompts them to break into Ace of Spades, of course.
Of course. All right. Yeah, if you're going to do one, it's usually the safest bet. Well, now, we're obliged to wait the 2.5 minutes or whatever, how long the song is. So what do you think of that one? That's a good one, eh? You like that one, Al?
No, it's just not for me. I just, it sounds like machines, having sex or something.
Right.
I don't like it.
All right. Well, we'll step out then. We'll give them one final devil horns and nod and step back out into the light snow and wait for our ride.
And it takes just a few more minutes, and your ride pulls up. I mean, these are still, ground cars. The full flying car thing never really manifested.
It really took off. Too many accidents.
So you guys hop in there and punch in the... are you going to go directly to his exact specific address, or are you going to get dropped off some distance away, or what's your plan here?
Well, I think the plan is we wanted to get dropped off right in front of the house so we're not walking down suburbia.
Yeah, maybe though.
To see.
Maybe this inner voice I've got tells me, though, it might be a good idea. A few houses down anyway. Just in case something goes terribly wrong later.
I say maybe the next door neighbor's house. So we got, plausible deniabilities.
Deniabilities, yeah. Plausible deniabilities. That's what I want.
All right. Well, you punch in the next door address. And in just a few minutes, you are delivered to the house next door. And I'm just going to make a little randomy rolly dole here. Okay. And the house that you pull up outside of is dark. It's getting about 8 p.m. or so at this point. So it's a little early probably for people to be going to bed, but
yeah.
You never know. But anyway, the house, the next door house is dark. No lights, no porch lights, nothing. But the house of your target is well lit, quite well lit. In fact, and you can see the figures of at least several different people moving around through the curtains.
There's more than one in there. Witnesses.
Yeah. I don't want to have to whack nobody, but
no, I don't want to have to do it
we said
either.
we can't have witnesses.
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I got this invisibility spell.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you handle it?
I don't know how long it lasts.
Can you handle it yourself? Like, you're going to have to go in there on your own.
I mean, well, maybe, yeah, I don't think I could drag out a full adult elf, by myself.
Well, I could.
I know you could.
When witnesses see a fella, wrestler with an invisible ghost being dragged out a door, they might as well be witnesses. Maybe we need a stratagem to lure him into the front door or something. For all we know, he's got a wife and kids in there. I don't want to have to be whacking no little elflings. Or maybe he's having himself a little get together.
Yeah. I would feel real bad if I had to off a little elfling.
Of course, they said no witnesses to the actual kidnapping. They don't mean you can't go up to the door and ask some questions. Just ascertain a thing or two. See who's there. See what you can see when you look in through the foyer or whatever. I'll just kind of lurk here in these bushes,
Well,
right next to the door. I shall crouch in the bushes next to the door.
let's have a look and see what's in these windows.
Okay.
Let's see if we can see if there's any spaces in between the curtains or anything like that we can peek through.
Okay.
So, yeah, make a smarts roll, both of you, as you sort of approach this house.
I'll try to look too. What's our target number? Or I guess you could tell us after we roll, but so we're rolling a d6 and adding our stat, correct? I skimmed the rules
Correct.
before this.
And don't roll a 1.
I won't, right.
Because
Well,
it's
I'm not the
possible
brightest
to,
guy,
Ooh,
but I just rolled a 6, and with my plus 2 smarts, that's an 8.
Oh,
I
gosh, yeah,
have-
no problem.
I have a whole +7 because of my +2 for being an elf,
Right.
and I rolled a 6, so I have 13.
Yeah, well, you only needed a 5, so and of course it's not roll a 1 because I mean you would have succeeded automatically with your base stat, which is why rolling 1 is always a failure. But you both succeed, and as you begin walking towards this house, which is it's a fairly modest little house of kind of brown color with for some reason the front door is like painted bright red, which is interesting. But you notice that there are like cameras everywhere, like on all angles.
Oh shit!
So yeah, you're obviously, if you're going to approach this, you're going to be filmed, unless you, or you're presumably anyway going to be filmed, unless you do something about it. And also, as you kind of make this, you both at the same time sort of realize you both see these cameras, and almost at the exact same moment that you do that, you're kind of just like looking at each other like shit. And then you're getting a call on your communicator as well, Al.
This is Al. Go ahead.
Monsieur Cylyndryel, I presume?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Put more speaker.
Yeah, I'll put him on speaker.
I don't think you want to do that.
Oh. Okay, no speaker. Well, you got something private to say?
Perhaps. You see, I heard the rumors that we might have a mutual friend.
Well, that's possible. I got lots of friends, so, I know a lot of people.
Well, I'm a very good friend with Mr. Arjun Patel. Yes. And I would not want anything bad to happen to him. Like, say, taking him to his warehouse in Lincoln Park. That would be very, very not good. I have somewhere else where he should be taken.
Huh. Well, we're not necessarily like, we're not cab drivers. We don't just take people here and there. But I don't know. What makes you think we'd take this friend of yours or ours to where you want him?
Well, I think that there are 20,000 reasons that you might want to change your plans.
Okay, well, that is double the reasons for taking them elsewhere.
Yes, so do give it some thought, Mr. Cylyndryel, he says, and an address comes up, an alternate address comes up on your phone that is quite far away and on the other side of town, basically, where he apparently wants you to take it, but he hangs up.
Okay, so you get this call right when we realise we're in the cameras, right? So what you got to see is some kind of hacker, at least, who can see, us through the cameras right now.
Maybe. But we're just workers. We're just checking for termites. That's all.
I don't think we look like, exterminators. Not of that variety.
Well, not
anyway.
the bug kind, anyway.
Not the bug kind. In fact, I probably look a lot like an exterminator of the other kind. You could pass in polite society, but... And, 20,000 reasons is a lot of good reasons, but your reputation's everything in this business. And if we get the reputation of people who back out on a deal, how do you think Mr. Black's going to feel about that?
Yeah, well, Mr. Black, how do you think Mr. Black feels about shortchanging us, Like, he could have been giving us $20K to begin with.
I don't know the man's personal bank account. I just think a fella named Mr. Black probably doesn't think of himself as like a very forgiving person. He could come up with any name he fucking wanted, right? He chooses Mr. Black. That kind of name sends a message. Like a don't fuck with me kind of message.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm just saying it's something to consider. And it's moot because we don't have Mr. Patel, who may or may not be in that house. All we can say for certain is there's a lot of people in that house, or at least several.
Yeah. Oh. And if we get this Mr. Patel, I wonder, if this French guy, is he gonna know? Is he keeping tabs on us?
I bet he can. There's eyes in the sky everywhere.
It comes down to who do we want to piss off more.
And as you guys stand here sort of talking, I assume you're talking quieter than you actually are. I mean, considering you're standing fairly close to this guy's house and everything, and the cameras would presumably be able to, pick you up. But as you're sort of standing here talking, you see one of the windows that has had the curtains, blocking your view. Somebody pops them open, and you see it's Mr. Patel. And he doesn't look at you or seem to even notice you at all, but he does open the window. And as he does so, you see, billows of smoke coming out of the window.
Okay, I'm going to be bold. I'm running for the window. I got good speed. I'm going to try to reach in and grab him and pull him the fuck out the window before anyone sees. I'm impulsive.
Oh my god.
I used to be a footballer,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I'm gonna leap. I'm gonna rush across that yard at an oblique angle, and reach up and pull him right out the window.
Well, there's a screen.
I'm gonna punch right through the screen.
Break through it, okay.
I'm gonna break through the screen, and I'm gonna pull him out the window. I'm gonna try.
All right, well, you go running for the window, and the noise of your, footsteps, he immediately takes notice of you at that point and screams. And I don't know. I mean, you're right there. He started screaming, and you can try to punch in and grab him.
I am. and hopefully, you know, I can get him out before anyone else runs into the room, or, you know, if they don't actually, so if they see him, you know, being pulled out a window, I don't know that that's a witness. So,
make. Oh, okay, first make a smarts roll.
oh shit. Well, that did not go well because I rolled a 1.
Oh. Okay, well, you don't notice that this window, that inside this window is a table, and sitting at the table are several people who are all watching this. And they appear to be playing some kind of game with dice and books and smoking some things. And, but you don't notice that.
No.
So make your strength roll.
Okay, now unfortunately I get a 10.
All right, well, you punched right through the screen and you grab onto Mr. Patel, who is still screaming. Although none of the people at the table, I mean, they're all kind of startled by him and looking over, but they can't see you. They're in a well-lit room, and you're in the dark outside. So you've grabbed him and pulled him out of the window. What are you going to do with him?
Run. I'm going to hoist him up like a sack of potatoes and just run for the next door house. But we did not specify that we left the vehicle waiting, but I just want him. I want to get far enough away that
No, and I
see
assume
me.
that. Yeah. I assume that, you know, you would have gotten out of the vehicle and it would have just had to go off and to the next person or whatever that was gonna pick up.
Quick, call a ride.
And,
Call a ride. I got him. Run. Don't let him see you.
As I'm running, I'm going to cast magic missile, shoot the missiles into the open window.
Okay, and well, you know, go ahead and roll some damage for that, because of course the people are going to jump up and be running to the window, and this is definitely going to be, I think, an effective way of keeping them from seeing what's going on. So, not a bad idea.
Okay, and so it says D8. Is that just for damage, or do I need to roll for? I mean, magic missile.
Yeah. Damage.
Okay, but I mean, I don't need to roll for it, right?
No, you just say you're doing it and then roll damage.
Okay. All right. And I will roll D8. And I rolled a 4.
All right. Well, there are some screams from the window area as well, and you run for the dark and apparently unoccupied house, and I guess we'll see what you find there in the next episode.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So we'll have to come up with Plan B.
Yeah.
I think, because.
Well, I wasn't expecting that one, but hey, that's why you do this shit.
It could have worked. I could have gotten him. I could have reached in, reached out. But you know what?
Yeah,
I mean, people saw him get kidnapped. I mean, we have plausible deniability on what exactly a witness means. Plus, our French friend did not specify no witnesses.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like,
So-
if worse comes to worse, we still can pick the Frenchman, since he didn't say that there should be no witnesses.
Right.
So if we lose one job, hopefully we still have the other.
Well, the Frenchman also didn't say not to kill him, so.
Yeah. But we want to make sure we get paid.
Yeah.
Just that's, I think, better be, safe.
Okay. Well, next time then.
Oh, next time. Well, I'm very interested to see where this goes now, because this is totally unexpected. But I love it when that happens. So
Good. All right. Cool.
times.
All right. See you in a week then, good listeners.
Indeed.
Hey everybody, if you like our podcast, don't forget to leave us a good rating and or review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or wherever you're able. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Goonies_world, and check out our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.